Hello, children. How are you all? I hope you are fine and good. We are praying for your good health and protection, children. Shall we continue the same lesson, monetary economics? Now, we are going to recall whatever we have learned in the previous class. We have learned supply of money. It means the total money supply available in the economy. Then the Fisher's quantity theory of money. It was given by Irving Fisher. And then the meaning of inflation. Inflation refers to general rise level of prices. Then the types of inflation. Various types of lesson inflation also we have learned in the previous class. Then you all know the meaning of inflation. Inflation refers to general rise in the price level. Now we are going to learn how the inflation occurs, causes of inflation. Increase in money supply. Money supply means total money available in the country. When there is going to be more money available in the country, then the aggregate level also increases and then the higher rate of inflation. Increase in disposable income. Disposable income may increase with the rise in national income and the reduction in the rate of taxes, and there will be a reduction in the savings of the country, so the disposable income will increase. Increase in public expenditure. Government activities have been expanded, so the government spends many development activities and welfare program for the people, so there will be a higher rate of inflation. Inflation in consumer spending. The demand for goods and services increases when they are given on credit or hire purchase or installment basis. Cheap money policy. Cheap money policy means the money is available at a lower rate of interest, or when there is more credit expansion, there will be increase in the money supply and then there will be a demand for goods and services in the economy. Deficit financing. In order to meet the mounting expenses, the government borrows from the public and also by printing the currency notes. So there will be increase in the money supply and there will be a aggregate demand and there will be a reason for inflation. Black assets and activities and money. The existence of black money and black assets due to corruption, tax evasion, etc. also increases the aggregate demand. But hoarding and marketing of goods will reduce the aggregate supply. Then the repayment of public debts. When the government is going to repay the internal debt to the public, then there will be increase in the money supply and also there will be raise in the aggregate demand for goods and services. Increase in exports. When exports are encouraged, then there will be the demand for goods, supply of goods will decline, so the prices will rise. So these are the causes of inflation. Now we all know the causes of inflation, how inflation occurs in the economy. Now we are going to learn the effects of inflation, effects on production. When the inflation is very moderate, that is slow and mild, it will be an incentive to the traders and the businessmen and they get higher profit, and so this will encourage the producers and the traders to invest more. But when there is going to be a hyperinflation refers to the inflation rate will be very high rate of interest. It may be of 2 digit to 3 digit. Then there will be a serious depreciation of a value of money and it discourages the savings on the part of the public. Then when the value of money decreases, then it may even drain out the foreign capital already invested in the country. With the reduced capital accumulation, the investment will suffer a serious setback and then the volume of production will be reduced. So this may discourage the entrepreneur and the businessman from taking business risk. Inflation also leads to hoarding of essential goods by the traders as well as the consumers and thus leading to higher rate of inflation. Inflation encourages investment in speculative activities rather than the productive processes. These are the effects of inflation on production. Then, shall we learn the effects on distribution, debtors and creditors? During inflation, the debtors will gain and the creditors will lose. That is, the debtors would have borrowed when the purchasing power of money is very high and repay the loans when the purchasing power of money is very low because of the rising prices. Fixed income groups. The fixed income groups are the worst hit during inflation because their incomes are being fixed and they do not bear any relationship with the higher cost of living. Example, wages, salary, interest, rent, etc. Then, entrepreneur. Inflation is the boon to the entrepreneur, whether they are trader, businessman, or the merchant, and this is the tonic for the business enterprises. So that because the business people will get a windfall gain as their inventories suddenly go up. Then the next one will be investors. The investors, those who generally invest in fixed interest, yielding bonds and securities, have much to lose during inflation. On the other hand, those who invest in shares will get a gain by more dividend and appreciation value in shares. These are the effects on distribution. Children, now we all know the causes of inflation and also the effects of inflation. Now we are going to learn what will be the measures to control inflation. So J.M. Keynes and Milton has recommended certain measures to control or prevent inflation. They are monetary measures, fiscal measures, and other measures. Monetary measures. These measures are taken by the Central Bank of India. The measures are increase in bank rate, sale of government securities in the open market operation, higher cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio, then the consumer credit control and the higher margin requirements. These are the monetary measures. Then the fiscal measures. Fiscal policy is also plays an important role in the inflationary situation. Fiscal measures are reducing the unnecessary government expenditure, public borrowing and enhanced taxation. It means increase the taxation to the public. These are the fiscal measures. Other measures can be classified into short-term measures and long-term measures. Short-term measures can be in regard to public distribution of scarce, essential commodities through fair price shops, that is through rationing. Whenever there is a shortage of basic goods, then the government will import from the other countries so that inflation may not get triggered. Long-term measures will be some restrictions will be made to improve the present consumption and then so that saving and investment will be improved and that will be the acceleration of the economic growth of the country in the long run. These are the measures taken by the government to control inflation. Children, shall we learn the meaning of deflation, disinflation and stagflation? The essential feature of deflation is the falling prices, reduced money supply and unemployment. Even though this falling prices is desirable at the time of inflation, such a fall should not lead to the fall in the production and employment. So if the prices fall from the level of employment, both the income and employment will get affected. The next term is disinflation. Disinflation is the slowing down the rate of inflation by controlling the amount of credit available to consumers without causing more unemployment. So, disinflation may be defined as the process of reversing inflation without creating unemployment or reducing output in the economy. The next term will be stagflation. Stagflation is the combination of stagnant economic growth, high inflation, and high unemployment. Children, let us learn the meaning of trade cycle. The economic activity in the capitalist economy will have its periodic up and down. The study of these up and down is called as trade cycle or business cycle. The definition of trade cycle. A trade cycle is composed of good trade characterized by rising prices and low unemployment, and bad trade characterized by low profit and high unemployment. This is known as trade cycle. There are four phases of trade cycle. They are boom or prosperity, recession, depression, and recovery. Boom. The full employment and movement of the economy beyond full employment is characterized by boom period. During this period, there will be more profit and there will be more investment, and there will be a development in the economy. There will be a hectic activity in the economy. Money wages rises, bank credit increases, and more profit will be there. And there will be there is all round optimism in the economy. This is known as boom period. Next will be recession. Recession, the turning point from boom period, is characterized by recession. Investment will be reduced and then the production comes down, income and profit will also decline. There is panic in the stock market and business activities will decline. Children, now the next stage of the trade cycle is depression. During depression, the economic activity is extremely low. Firms incur losses and the closure of business activities will be the feature, and the result is unemployment. And interest prices and profit will be reduced, and the agricultural people and the wage earners will be worst hit, and the bank will not grant loans to businessmen. And this is depression is the serious phase of business cycle. The extreme point of depression is called as trough. An economy fell in trough could not come out from this without external help. So Keynes advocated that autonomous investment from the government only could help from the serious depression. The next stage will be recovery. After a period of depression, recovery sets in. This is the turning point from depression to revival towards upswing. It begins with the revival of demand for capital goods. Autonomous investment will boost the economic activity. The demand slowly picks up and there will be more production, interest, profit, and employment. Recovery may be initiated by the innovation or investment or by government expenditure. These are the four stages of trade cycle.
Hello children, how are you all? Shall we discuss what all we have learned in the Google Classroom? We have learned causes of inflation, effects of inflation, how it affects the production, distribution, then the measures taken to control inflation, meaning of deflation, disinflation and stagflation, then the trade cycle, the four phases of trade cycle. Everything we have learned in the Google Classroom. I feel it is very interesting. Okay children.